You'll be starting a new project today that you can work with by yourself or with a partner. Probably by yourself would be the easiest way to go. I personally would do it by myself, but if you want to work with a partner because it makes you more comfortable, you're absolutely allowed to do that. All right, so today, let me explain some of the weather map project requirements. You'll be creating a weather map to present a relatively current forecast to the class. You can work independently or with partners. I don't want any groups larger than 3. If you're not in school, please use the maps provided to complete the presentation format. You will need to make a copy in order to edit and share the completed doc with me. So what I'm looking for is for you to discuss knowledge of air masses and different types of fronts. You can use this site and you can access this on Google Doc, right? And just click on the site. It takes you right to a weather channel and you can use all the live maps. You're going to describe how fronts move, what happens as the front passes over an area, and what kind of weather happens after the front passes over the area. You need to include at least 2 types of fronts on your map. When you are presenting, because you'll build a weather map and then you're going to present it to the class, you're going to need to point to at least 5 different cities and describe the current weather or sky conditions. Remember, this is going to be like partly cloudy, sunny. You're going to need to talk about wind and maybe the temperature. You're going to use this site for reference, so you'll find like a live weather map here. Describe high and low pressure. So what tool measures air pressure? Make sure you include a barometer in your discussion and include an H symbol and an L symbol for the pressure systems on your map. So hopefully your map has a high pressure system and a low pressure system. You're going to use a Doppler map from this site. So just look at the maps, look at the one that says Doppler on the top of it, and use it to describe the precipitation pattern in the United States. Include rain and snow on your map. Remember, rain and snow are forms of precipitation. Sorry, let me adjust this here. You're going to use a temperature map from this site to forecast today's weather in 3 different cities and used above. Where are the high and low temperatures in the U.S.? Like, are they north? Are they south? Are they east? Are they west? What cities are they in? Forecast future temperatures for at least 2 of these cities. So of these 3 different cities that you found temperatures for, and after you talk about the highs and lows in the country, tell us temperatures for at least 2 of the cities for the next day. If you are in person, you'll be provided of a hard copy of the U.S. map to create a current weather map with proper symbols and cities to place under the projector when it's your turn to present your weather forecast to the class. Be sure to use appropriate colors on your map. You may read from the presentation format. All right, Mrs. Tomlinson, what in the world is that? So if you're in class, you will take this weather map and add your symbols to it. You might add, so like let's say you are building a map and when you look at a weather map, you have a warm front, okay? And let's say you have the same weather map and you have some snow going on over here. Let's say you are very excited about having a cold front ahead of the snow. So basically, you're just going to look at weather maps online that are accurate. You're going to build a weather map, and then when you're done, you will present it to the class and say, oh, today, in Colorado, a warm front is passing through. It's bringing this weather. Oh, today in Michigan, it's going to be snowing. In Detroit, remember, snow is a sky condition. And there's a cold front that just passed through, so the temperatures will be cooler. So tomorrow, you can pick any city in any of these states as this cold front moves through and say that particular state or city, so Boston, will expect the temperatures to cool down and possible snow in the east. Okay, so if you're in person, you'll have this weather map. I'll provide it to you. You can color on it and we'll put it under the projector and then you'll talk about your weather map. If you are virtual, this is also in the Google Doc, and you'll need to create a Google Doc, use the weather map below, and fill in the presentation format. You'll not need to present, but what you'll do is you'll need to share your presentation format with me. We'll talk about what that is in a minute. So here's a weather map that has all kinds of different weather information on it. And if you are virtual, you're going to look at this weather map and be like, oh, here's a high pressure, here's a low pressure, here's a cold front, okay? And then the next map, it is in color, of course. When it's on your computer, we'll tell you the temperatures. It's cooler up here in the north, warmer down here in the south, and up here there's a temperature band, -10, 0, 10 degrees. Based on the color up at the top, you can find out where the warmest temperatures are and where the cooler temperatures are in the United States, and then just pick a city that's located there and use those for your high and low temperatures. Presentation format, this is what I was talking about. So here's how you can do this. If you're working in a group, you might want to split each section up and maybe one person talk about each section. If you're virtual, you just want to copy this, and then you can edit it, and then you just fill this out, and then you'll share it with me, and I'll be able to read the information that I'm looking for you to be able to understand that you understand weather maps. So first, what you need to do is describe how air masses move. So you want to say like air masses move, blah, 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 and what happens as a front passes over an area. So I would like to talk about two kinds of fronts. So what happens as a warm front passes over an area, what happens as a cold front moves over an area, and what kind of weather happens after the front passes over the area. So remember, there's an air mass behind each front. If it's a warm air mass, then of course it's bringing warmer weather. If it's a cool air mass, it's bringing cooler weather. So you want to discuss, when you're presenting, you want to discuss and point to at least two types of fronts on your map. You could also be talking about stationary or occluded fronts. All right, so also, if you are in class to discuss, you want to point to these 5 different cities. Or if you're not in class, if you're virtual, you want to list your 5 cities and describe the current weather. Like, is it partly cloudy? Is it snowing? Is there rain? Is there hail? That kind of thing, okay? So as you're filling this out, you want to discuss what tool measured air pressure and discuss high and low pressure systems on your map. Just pick the high pressure and a low pressure and tell what's happening there, what kind of weather is associated with a high and a low. And if you're in class, please point out where they are in the map during your presentation. All right. The next 2 sections, I want to know where's the precipitation on your map. So when you click on the other maps, you will see where the precipitation is. Like in general, where's the snow, where's the rain, what direction is it moving? Is it moving east or west across the United States? Is it rain or is it snow? And if you're presenting, point at where the precipitation is located. If you're not presenting because you're virtual, you want to just tell in general where the precipitation is located in the United States, or mention some cities or states. And then lastly, I would like you to forecast 3 different cities' weather. So list the cities and then list their weather, okay, for the next day on the map. So you're going to look at current maps, and then you're going to talk to me about what might happen the next day or as the front moves, or which direction the weather is moving, because you know the wind direction or the direction the front is moving. I want you to tell me where the high temperatures are in the United States, where the low temperatures are in the United States. You can just say north, south, east, or west, okay, for either one of these, or you can mention states. Like in Texas, it's super hot, okay? So then I want you to tell me, how will the weather change in City 1 in the near future? So in City 1, in the near future, in the next day or 2, what will the weather be like? And how will the weather change in City 2 in the near future? So here's City 2, and tell me how it will change in the next day or 2. The whole goal is for you to be able to look at weather maps, look at their symbols, look at the precipitation, look at their directions, and then be able to tell me about those weather maps and forecast a weather pattern, okay, in the United States. So your weather maps might even be something, like this. Maybe like, oh, okay, so this means rain, so there's rain here. I'm looking for a snow pattern. I don't really see any snow going on, but here's a low pressure system. Here's a city. You can use this if you want. Come back to this map. This map is not provided for you online, but you can come back to this on the presentation if you want to find cities, and go ahead. Whenever you see a large number, like let's look at Des Moines, the large number is a high temperature. The small number is a low temperature. Again, this front is a cold front. It's moving this direction, so you can kind of predict that Des Moines will cool off tomorrow because that's kind of where the cold front is moving. There's a warm front here moving towards the northeast, right? And so you can kind of predict where that's moving. You can move. Most weather, remember, moves from west to east in the United States. All right, so good luck with your weather map. In a couple of days, we'll present these to class, or they will be due to submit to me online via a copied Google Doc. All right, if you have questions, make sure you email me or ask me in person. I'd be happy to help. Please use some color on your maps. They look way better than this when you present a map. All right, hopefully your forecast is great and you've been watching the Weather Channel. I hope there's exciting weather coming your way.